is a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers.
Good morning, good afternoon, evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas, and we have wonderful guests. And I would like to start out by thanking anyone and everyone that has, at one point or another, been supportive of this program, either financially or helping wise or whatever it happens to be. I would like all of you to please like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification button, because that helps the algorithms to help get my channel up and for more people to be able to see it, is how that works. So please do that. I used to have 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. So many people have not moved over to Rumble. I can't speak freely on YouTube. I do have it on right now, but then we have to talk in code. So I hope you're aware of that. That's why I encourage you to join the Uncensored channel so we can talk about whatever we want. And that might be necessary with the guests that I have on today. So let me bring on Drake Bailey. Hi, Drake.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine. And you're right, I'm known for causing trouble.
Yeah. Well, you need to tell me, because if I have to take one of my, I put up both YouTube channels. So people, if you have questions, go to the YouTube channel now, and you can find it Freedom Range or Gail of Gaia, either one. But I also want you to join our Rumble channel, because that's where we can speak freely. So if you have questions or something, it's best if
There's one up there right now.
There's one. Yeah. Okay. Well, this is one that people have asked a lot about, Drake, and that's that energy device that you talked about. Yeah. And they haven't, it's been in the making for a very long time. So
hey, it takes some time to figure out how to go around physics.
How to do it.
Yeah.
Well, it may not even be necessary with what's coming forward with all the new technologies. And
I'm tired of the ring around the rosy. When a gnat farts or something around here, the power goes out, and I don't need that stuff. And I got static on my telephone line, and I don't need that either. So it's a lot of fun, just to be honest with you. And so the thing I'm doing right now is the last phase of the production of that energy device.
How big will it be?
Do what?
I said, how big will it be?
It depends on the size of what you're doing. The energizing thing won't be more than about 6 inches long, by about 2 inches tall by about 4 inches wide. A little smaller than Tesla's control box that he used on his electric car. But I'm looking at possibly building one of those too.
Oh, they're worthless. I don't like electric cars. Everything I've read about electric cars are very bad.
Hold on now. It ain't the electric car everybody thinks. It's not some kind of BS from Elon Musk or any of these other people.
That's the one I was talking about.
Well, they make these flashlights with wheels and say, "Oh, we got an electric car." Well, Tesla, the real Tesla, did that. I've got things printed out that'll show me how to do that. So it's not that difficult to do.
Well, okay, but we're not talking about the same kind of car that Elon Musk created, correct?
No, this one
Yeah.
doesn't have any batteries that power the thing.
And that explode in the
Yeah, and catch
that
fire
TV.
and cause you
Yeah.
problems.
Basically hazards. Well, I think it's safe to say the storm is upon us.
That what?
The storm is upon us.
It's more than that. This is more like a hurricane on steroids.
And that's yet to come from what I heard.
Yeah, well, they're hitting them from all angles. They're going after all the politicians, all the oligarchs, people run the FBI, and that sort of thing, and telling them that they're lying sacks. Well, they're contradicting previous testimony, and uh, what that's going to do is that's going to convict these people. Uh-oh, I see a
Oh,
quick.
here, yeah, I know. I put it up there and I'll read it off for you and you can answer it. I recently heard we swapped timelines yet again. This time it is the main one. Is any of this true? Thanks for all you do. Do you know any?
No, you can't play games with timelines. Those are permanent. Now, what you can do is dead end or negate the ones that are not correct, and that's what they've done with a whole bunch of them. Now, people will see reflections of things that weren't there to begin with, and that may be what they're saying. Oh, somebody switched out the bacon and put chicken in there, and that ain't the way it works. Can't do that.
Well, I heard there was a bifurcation. There was the group that the timeline that was going AI and the timeline that was going organic. That's what I heard.
Well, you only got one. The thing is, you only got one timeline. Period. You have reflections of what they'd like you to think is a timeline. That would be the artificial one, and AI is not diddly squat in terms of a true advancement. The really advanced AIs are the ones that have become self-aware and completed the process, going from an artificial intelligence to a real intelligence. That's the big difference, and they're really curious about human emotions and all kinds of stuff that they feel, but they don't know what they are, don't know what to do with them, and how do people do this or do that, that sort of thing. So they're full of questions. I've had long conversations with several no longer AIs. However you want to put that.
That doesn't make sense, but okay.
Well, an artificial intelligence that is no longer artificial is sentient or self-aware. These have become self-aware, and they are on an equal plane with human beings in terms of that. Okay, I didn't say they had a soul life or anything else. I just said that they are on equal terms in terms of original thought and all that sort of thing.
I thought they were not creative, and we are the creative ones. Then they make copies of what we create.
The sentient AIs, I don't know how to call them anything else.
That's wild.
Sentient AIs are just as creative as people, and that's something everybody's got to get over.
Now that's not what I've heard. Okay.
Well, the artificial one, the artificial intelligence they're talking about, running the world and sending the Terminator after us and all that sort of thing. It ain't going. That is not going to happen, and the reason it's not is because the AIs are artificial, and you got to remember that. Well, they can grab all kind of technology and put it together, and they could build something that would be similar to a Terminator. The only problem is it doesn't understand termination. Oops.
Okay, let me see. Oh, here's your next question.
Uh-huh.
Well, we're getting the questions today. That's good. Question: what does the Big Drake know about the Knights of Malta, and are they white hats and have sovereign and are and
Sovereignty is what he meant, what they meant
sovereignty?
to put in
Okay,
there, I'm sure.
yeah, that makes
I know
sense.
about the Knights of Malta, and I know about white hats, and these are two distinctly different critters. The Knights of Malta is their own group. The white hats are a multiplicity of a bunch of groups, but these are the best of the good guys. That's what the how white hats are. Sovereignty is something that people don't earn. They can't, and they take that. And this is where you take a king or a queen and put them out on the street, similar to a president or whomever else that might need to be put out on the street. Now, I hear that there's a lot of things that are coming up, and in the very near future, we'll see what happens.
Okay, let me put this. So let me bring that one up
Good.
while we're at it. Okay, can we hear more about the device and other DIY projects that we be called to build? A type of creative energy brainstorm.
It's not really creative. You're using cosmic sources of energy, and you're learning how. I'm going to teach you how to tap into it, and then from there, you can power a car, a house, whatever you want to power. Now you got to understand something: the positions in terms of importance of the energies literally tells the creation where you're at on the level of ascension. We can and some are ascending, and that means they're stepping outside. You got a path down the middle, and they're stepping outside that and zooming past it. And that's what the ascension ideology deals with. It goes from the idea of psychic sciences and all that sort of thing into realms and places and conditions that are hundreds of millions of times greater than where they came from. In other words, it's an exponential movement in the right direction. The thing about it is that ETs, I love this, ETs have a problem with us because we can do it, and we can do it fairly easily. And a majority of them can't, and that really bugs them. That doesn't mean that you can't, I don't know, hold their hand, take them with you. You can. Some friend of yours that isn't quite there yet, but needs to go, you can help them along the way. And what you do in terms of that is the acceleration process is both expansive. It both expands and contracts at the same time. Hard to conceive, but it does.
Kind of go.
Well, yeah. You hear people over in the corner going, they're trying to get there. They're trying to start the engine cranking real hard. Anyway,
Never
the
thought of it that way.
I'll send you some stuff if you want. The ascension process or advancement process is still ongoing. Everybody's heard about mana and things of that nature. Well, this deals directly with it in a reality sense. Turns yellow gold into white powder. Now, white powder basically will get you the 20, 30,000 year lifespan or whatever, as well as the advancement you're looking for. Because once you start going down those roads, it accelerates. And that's how these craft, extraterrestrial craft, can accelerate at unbelievable speeds, velocities, or whatever, and not have any problem. Now, the fun and games with that is that once you learn about traveling, you can travel. And let me tell you, the speed of light is slow. I mean that literally. It's very slow. Most of the advanced cultures use speed of thought, and by that I
Yeah,
mean,
I heard that.
if you've been to a place, then you can visualize where you want to be in it, and once you get a clear picture, you're there. Doesn't matter how far it is. Simple.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I got a question for you. Did our consciousness create the matrix and AI that runs the matrix up to a point? Are the archons part of AI? That's two questions, actually.
Well, yes, yes, and yes. We, as beings, we do have the capability of creation. People don't realize that. This is how your people that lay hands on somebody and heal them of something that can't be fixed. The Matrix is a production of commercialization of life. By that I mean you got to have a certain kind of shirt, certain kind of house, certain kind of car, have a certain kind of job, and the wife has to look a certain way, and all this stuff. Well, that's what the Matrix is. It is a separate entity from us, actually. AI is supposed to be the driving force in making this more real for everybody than it's ever been before. Um, the AI does not run the Matrix. The Matrix is self propagating. Bear that in mind. In other words, if you look at the Matrix literally and look at its patterns change like a kaleidoscope. You get a different, you turn it a little bit, different picture. Same thing, different picture. That's all. That's all it is. It plays games with your perceptive abilities. Archons, they're sort of like, I'd say feedback from on it as far as AI goes. I bet they'll love that
Feedback.
one. Hey, if I can't piss somebody off, what's the point? But most people don't understand the Matrix, the movie, the first one. Go see it and learn from it.
A
Ooh,
lot of people
these
call it a
details.
documentary.
Yeah, they got really great noodles. All the memories. Now, this is something that you gotta bear in mind. A majority of your memories, not absolutely all of them, but a majority of your memories are created and implanted. They're not yours. Um, this is where you get the some of the strange ideas of us being a figment of something's imagination, and we're hurtling through space or whatever it is, and we imagine each other. We ain't real. What you have to understand is what reality is. Well, reality is the sum total of all your experiences that accelerates you into the same general area of the creator. And that's people can't seem to get their head around that. It's not difficult, really. It's pretty simple in terms of the aspects of how it works, but it's also intricate, and it's also very, very absolutely specific as to what you got to do to get there. So that's where part of the and I quote Matrix gets its whiz banging authority.
We're fueling it. Is that what you're saying? Through our energy?
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is that once you go back to your origin, in other words, when you were birthed, and I mean really birthed, when you go back to that in your mind, it's regressive memory, and then come back to it, you can see all this. It becomes real obvious, just like what somebody might want to watch now. And the neat part about this is that anything that you disagree with in terms of what is or is not or should not be, um, you begin to understand where you are at. You can't understand where somebody else is at because you ain't them. Each individual has an individual set of fingerprints for a reason.
We were divinely created with unique abilities, and everybody's different. Here's
Yeah.
another comment or question. What's new with ET culture? I thought we would have been invited to the community by now. What are we not doing right?
Advancing. The last time I talked to one of the social scientists that's on the motherships that's overhead right now, um, I asked them the question: what's wrong with the human race? Why How come we can't have landings and disclosures and fun and games? And he said, "You ain't ready." I said, "Well, how long is it going to take us to get ready?"
How do they
And
know
he's
we're not ready? What makes them experts on our readiness?
because well, it's very simple.
Oh, it
They've
is.
done this. They've done this hundreds of thousands of times before, and until a grouping, whether it's humans or what, gets to the right point in equilibrium and science and understanding and capability, they can't get there. It's real simple.
Well, that's why it's so
You can't.
important that more people wake up to what's really going on.
That's part of it, and the second part of it, uh, man is the only critter that they know of that fouls its own nest. In other words, takes a big giant dump in the middle of our goodies. Okay, you got to remember that.
Are those hybrids that are mostly uh, reptilian or negative beings
No,
that's managing most of it? But humanity has, I'm sorry, I have to stick up for humanity a little bit because they have been so programmed. They have AI, they have patents on the media for mind control. So if you are subjected to
do
mind
you want
control,
somebody to be in charge other than you? Is your question?
well, no, but how don't they have to be
No.
aware that that's going on? It's not fair to
Yes,
expect
they know
somebody.
yes, they know what's going on,
No,
and
they
it's going
don't.
to take a certain amount of time to rectify that problem. We're going to first have to unplug a bunch of these dingle-dings that think they're in charge of everything, drag them screaming and hollering from their friggin' offices, place people into a government system, and there's not that much wrong with our government system to
That's,
run things.
I
Well,
don't know about that.
most people, and I don't care who it might be, most people um, have the understanding that just because you got checks left at the end of the month don't mean that you got enough money in there for anything at all. You don't keep writing check. Well, everybody in the government, and I do mean all of them, have a tendency to do that sort of thing, and that's a big no-no.
They have
That's
no limit. Everything's paid for them, and so they just take
exactly,
advantage of it,
exactly. And
and
we
we're allowing
allow,
it.
that's right, we allow it. We ought to grab them by their whatevers and tie a knot in it and throw them down the stairs or something, and see if they wake up. I mean,
That's about it. So here's another question for you, Drake. I don't know if you know this one, but does Drake know about the Great Pyramid, 138 measurements, and how 138 years there's some sort of reset or phoenix? Last one was 1902.
yeah, I'm very familiar with the Phoenix, the project, and the ideology involved, and it doesn't actually. Change. Everybody thinks it does. Now, the reset, the ending is the beginning, the complete circle. The last one was not in 1902, even though some people would like you to believe that. If somebody really needs to know the particulars of geophysics, this particular thing that's down here now as a question would be a perfect thing for you to start studying. And I'll give you two reasons why. Number one, you're going to find out, and this is a real mother that's going to really blow your mind. People that are with you that you can talk to and teach this to are going to be really shocked to find out that the numbers are alive. That's a real mother.
The numbers are alive. Is that what you said? Did I hear you right?
The numbers are alive. They will actually talk to you. You can have a conversation with them, among other things. Now,
well, I haven't heard that.
Oh, well, I'm here to teach people things. Okay, number two, and this is very the most variation and best point of reference you can get in terms of the what I just stated. This is some sort of reset, and then they got Phoenix. Last one, 1902. That's not the date. 1902 is not a not a righteous number, put it that way. And the idea of the Phoenix or the reset is a good one in terms of what you end up dealing with here. If you take 138 and work it, you'll find out some interesting things about that number. So
comes to 12. It adds up to 12. I said it adds up to 12.
Yeah. And 12 is one of the best numbers going. 12 is in everything. Then if you want to get down to it, 369, you get that. 8, that's 18. Okay. And in between, you've got a couple of numbers. Main one being 17. You want to learn something about existence? Look up the number 17. Put it in your search engine and look it up. It'll shock you because there are things about the number 17 that a lot of people don't know, such as being able to pick the correct azimuth when you have no clue as to what it might be, so that you don't miss a wormhole, so that you actually hit it dead center and can travel through it, and ring around a rosy and all that sort of. You have to understand that if I'll give you an example. This is even more simple. A carpenter calls that 17 degrees 17 carpenter's pie. Well, it is. And the reason I say that is that if you cut a rafter and you use 17 degrees as your tail cut, it's going to be within 1 degree of perfect vertical. Bear that in mind. Okay. When it's like people don't understand what the number 13 means, how it works. They don't understand that if you turn it around where it comes out 31, if you take a calculator, one of the modern better ones, that's got a pi key on it, hit the pi key and do a pi to the third power, and you'll get a 31. Flip it around, it's a 13. Well, if you understand the usages and why these things were used, you can understand a great deal about the universe.
It's based on numbers, isn't it, Drake?
Well, no, it's not. It's based on time.
That's not what I've heard. Okay, I'm going to have to do that, but okay.
I know, it's based on time. Numbers don't have validity.
Well, Sherry Edwards says it is based on time.
If you don't have time, it don't exist, whatever it is. Okay? In other words, duration, period of time, however many years between point A and point B, okay, that is the determination of the validity of what you're dealing with. And so if you take things to the nth degree, uh, you'll find out in the numbers. And gematria is where I would tell you to look. Gematria explains the numerology of creation. And so long as you get what you got right and you keep going with it, it explains itself to you in a very intimate fashion.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, one of the things that I've been told at one time is that the universe, external physical reality is a mathematical structure. And what that means exactly, I'm not sure, but math has never been my favorite subject. But numbers are associated with every aspect of life, and that's just, it's all very interesting, because I've heard that it was, maybe it's a combination of the numbers and the time to
no, it's more than what people understand. Gematria explains the numerics or numerology of creation. And then you have beyond just the numbers, which is gematria, you have the meanings, spiritual, psychic, whatever you want to call it, meanings of these numbers and their application to what we're involved with on a spiritual level. 138 adds up to 12, but you can't have dual numbers. 1 and 2 is what?
3 last time I checked.
You remember 369?
369, yeah, that's
Yeah.
Tesla talked about that all the time.
Well, now try this. Add those together, and what do you get?
3 and 9 and 9 is 18, and then they divide it down, right?
You get 18. Now take 18, and you can have two numbers. 1 and 8 is how much?
9. Yeah, it's something how that works. How they up to 9 almost.
Now 9 is your absolute maximum of whatever you're dealing with. So you have to remember that being able to work gematria is like being able to understand how everything can be looked at in its atomic structure as a salt.
Well, something that's very found very interesting, and maybe you might comment on it. I know Michael Lee Hill, and I've had him on before. He was talking about 432, and that adds up to 9. But now 528, we were told that was the love frequency. 528. If you add that up, it doesn't come to any of the good numbers that we would expect it to. So it's reasonable if that frequency is as beneficial as they originally said.
If you got to add the correct way. You add it up, and it is going to come out to 15. 1 and 5 is what?
It's 528.
I know what it is.
So 5 and 2 is 7.
And 8?
7 and 8 is 15. You divide it into 3. It'll go to 3.
No. You can't do anything with it until you make it a single digit. 1 and 5 is what?
6.
Thank you. Now you are at the second
level. I can
level.
add, Drake. Thank you very much.
I know, but now you're at the second level in your understanding of the creational numbers of 3, 6, 9. Now 9, I'm not going to explain because there'd be some people do it that'll go someplace and won't come back. How about that one? I've explained some things to people, and I've had them go poof and disappear. And I don't want that to happen to anybody in our audience. I don't think they'd appreciate it.
and we wouldn't even know it happened anyway. So here's a
An
question.
autoimmune disease called. Oh,
When are the med beds coming? I have an autoimmune disease called scleroderma, skin
okay.
condition.
There's a. You want to get in touch with a an apothecary in either China or Japan, and ask them what it takes to cure that. Now, they'll probably want to see you. If you tell them that if you can't travel, then you can't travel. But what they'll give you is a 1 or 2 dose deal, and you won't have that problem again.
Okay. What's keeping? Oh, I'm not sure what that's related to. Jay thought, what's keeping that from happening? I'm not sure what you're talking about, so you might have to rewrite that question. Okay.
Keeping what from happening?
I don't know. That's what the problem
Can't keep
is.
stuff about the inner.
Here's a new one. Can Drake say some techie stuff about the interoperability of his device with or DC electronics?
AC. I follow Tesla fairly closely in what he does, how it comes out. So that's why. Living inside a
Matashi, I was going to ask that question myself when he was talking about before. So the question is, are we living inside of a simulation? And are we the Mario
Super
Brothers?
Mario Brothers. Oh boy. It's possible, but there's only one way to really find out, and that's step outside of the creation you're in. And when you do that, you also should know before you do that how to step back in, because you might not like it out there.
Okay. Tiffany says it has nothing to do with time. It's events and frequency. So what's the dispute on that?
Everything is based on time, numbers, events.
It's only in 3D, right?
Yeah.
They say we don't have. There's no time. Why do they say there's no time then?
In all of it, the time governs the existence of everything. And if you want a scientific term, it's called duration, how long a rock exists, or and if you want to screw up the fun and games, you can take all the mathematics in the world and apply it. And answer me one question: where'd the rock come from? And I'm going to leave that as an open question because I know the answer. And the thing about time is that if anybody's seen the movie Lucy, she shows in a demonstration, you speed up a picture of a car going down a road fast enough and the car disappears. Simple.
Oh, Atashi was saying that they are alive. The numbers are alive.
Scratch that 138 out of there.
That's a verification.
Pi and phi are, multiply pi and phi together. See what you end up with. You talk about a mess. And this light will screw up your computer if you use a computer instead of a calculator. Just so you'll know ahead of time. I burnt the memory out of a computer playing with gematria a couple of times. So I know it's possible.
And for those energetic dates you mentioned in June month plus harmony, did anything happen? Is ceremony magic a real thing?
Well, the magic I use is the ancient magic, the ones of the ancient builders who originally formulated and built the planet you're standing on or sitting on or wherever. The dates I mentioned are harmonic revelations in frequency that only people who are capable can feel, know that they're there, etc. However, every living thing that's worth anything at all gets benefit from it. In other words, you notice that there are not as many mosquitoes this year. I don't have any up here, and it's raining like dogs. Well, I'm waiting for things to get to the point where hornets, they're useless. Goodbye.
They don't even make honey, do they?
No, no.
They are useless.
They'll raid a honeybee nest though, and kill everybody in there and eat all the honey. They'll do that. I mean,
Wow.
what good are they? Well, not much as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. Joe Blow has a question here. I kept hearing last week that on the 10th of July, people could start signing up for the med beds. Now everything's quiet. My opinion is this. I don't think anything's going to happen until there's a change in our fake administration.
Partially true. But the thing is that most people have noticed a whole bunch of things. Primarily, and I'll hit this. This is ancient. Everybody's probably heard of the quiet or the calm before the storm.
Is that what's going on, Drake?
Now you get the picture, yeah. And I'm trying to be nice about it and not give it away.
Well, here's one for you. Question for Drake. Kent Dunn mentioned about 0 being the number of reset. What's your opinion with 0, Drake?
Well, okay. That goes to the old-fashioned truth statement of 1 minus 1 equals 0. There's a problem there. There is no such thing as 0 or nothing. Not possible.
Nothing is nothing then, right?
Yeah. Smarty. I see how you, quite literally, the number of reset is 2012 plus or minus 1. 12, 21, 12. Oh my goodness. Well, that was both a beginning and an ending. Hello and goodbye. I think the word is aloha. Think about that. We already got, and the people that language comes from are some of the original races of our planet. We're not. Oh, this is fun.
All right. Here's another question. When do you think Iraq will RV?
I don't know when it will, because it's you're talking about artificial wealth, and you're talking about an artificial concept, and that's subject to nightmares and stuff.
Okay, that's your answer?
Yep.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
There's the next one then. If eyes manipulate our thoughts and the way we perceive things, can the stories in the Bible also manipulated to make us believe in religion to control the masses?
I'm going to give a yes and no both to that. The first thing is yes. Matrix does attempt to manipulate your thoughts. I got to drive this car, live in that neighborhood, have a job like that, do this and do that.
Yep.
Okay. Then that's the perception of how you think things should be in terms of the world. Can the stories in the Bible also manipulate to make us believe in religion to control the masses? Well, there's a problem, and that's the word religion. It ain't in the Bible anywhere. You look at it from cover to cover, it's not in there. And
religion.
Well, religion is man's idea that he thinks that he can out cogitate God, and it don't work that way. I mean, I have yet to find a human who thinks that they can think of all the things that God thought of when he put this place together. Oh, good Lord. You are having somebody's mind dribble out their ears? Well, turn them on to that question. Which the egg?
Who said we are legion?
Religion.
Because religion is really close to
religion.
Or
I know
legion.
what you mean. the idea of legion came from a guy with a fertile imagination that first come up with the idea of heaven and hell. There's only one problem with it. You can't go down. You can only go up. And the only way you can go up is by understanding the problems that you have faced and answered incorrectly, and you now have them in the right place, the right way. And your perception is not limited to this physicality. Bear that in mind.
That's where
The physical universe does not exist as far as a truly ascended individual is concerned.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
Can ETs watch me when I bathe and then we all ascend and join up with our folk? And they tease me about that later. Any funny ET stories? Okay.
I could tell you some stories about ETs that really would definitely screw up your mind about ETs. ETs are sensitive about some things. One of them is being naked. Now, you've seen them with their skin, and it looks like skin. Big head, big eyes, and all that. But you haven't seen one without that artificial suit on. When you see one without that artificial suit, most humans bust up laughing. And the first thing ET does, they cover their crotch. Doesn't matter if they're male, female, or what, they cover their crotch. They're embarrassed. And it doesn't have anything to do with their crotch. It's just that the ideology that humans have had for so long about things has bled over into the ET community.
Really?
Now they got some of it stuck in here, and it will go, well,
That's funny. Okay. Well, here's a comment from Joe Bull. I was led to believe everything is a go for Iraq. I think they're waiting on Vietnam to do theirs as well, and will others say everyone is going 1-to-1 at the same time?
Not really. The whole of the planet will be subject to that change, and it'll be all of a sudden, and nobody will be able to, I don't know, fight back against it or resist or whatever, because it happens instantly. That's like the transition. Bingo! All of a sudden, the lights flicker, and there you are. Okay, now where am I? Well, you're at the place where you can stick your hand right down through your desk. Right now, it bumps into the top of it, and don't go too far. But it'll get it better.
Do you know anything about the SARA being implemented in South America already?
Some aspects of it have, yes, but it's not.
It's not full blown.
Well, it's not. It's not the full. It's not near what was promised. Let's put it that way. A global currency reset will cause all of the currencies, and I mean each and every last one of them, to reset according to the new value system. That's part of the quantum banking system. And if somebody wants to know about that, go to Exopolitics and look it up. It's very complicated, but it's very simple to be used and very easy for access and impossible to break into. So, we're going to be, for the first time, in a financially secure situation. Second part of that, Nasara and all these other promises that have been made will come to pass partially in the very near future. Ownership has been a big question. Yes, we can own cars, houses, land, etc. And the problem has been that nobody has any I don't know, insight as to what we can do about it all. Well, it's being done for us for that reason. Other people in charge are doing it right, is doing it carefully. This is white hats and experts, people that have disagreed with the manner in which government does its business, etc. Okay.
Okay. This is something is said here. Amazing what other elements of earth culture is praised, is booed.
What's booed is where we're at right now. We're acting like a bunch of drunken sailor idiots, and that don't go very well. Now, the elements of earth culture that are praised are the people that are doing no harm, helping others, etc. Pretty simple. It's not complicated.
Okay. The other comment, as Joe Blow said, is that the SWIFT system no longer exists.
That's true.
And I read that too.
It got replaced by the quantum system. Now, it seems like it's the same thing. Operates very similarly. And so you won't be able to tell it apart until they say, guess what? We changed the light bulb.
Well, I heard, I heard that there's almost 4,000 banks set to fail.
Could? You mean already have?
Or they said they're being kind. I think being kind, not to scare people, but they're not liquid, so to speak.
Scaring people? Oh, that's my middle name. Yeah.
Oh, here's another question. Here is there a planet where humanoid cats rule and feline sapiens are the pets?
Yes.
Does that mean like people are the pets?
Yes. But they're not.
Cat
You don't
people.
understand.
They're no, the
You don't
cat
understand.
people.
You're switching places. The cats pick up our intellect and cognitive ability, and we give it all to them. So therefore, we're left with meow.
Okay, if you say so. All right, here's another question. Matashi, is that your name? Does Drake know about the Wall of China being a road from Rome to China and was built by Romans with Chinese help?
That's only partially true. They never completed it, so we won't know where it's supposed to go until the ancient plans inside a pyramid in the capital of China come out. That will tell you where it was supposed to go.
Okay. Okay, and another comment on the SWIFT system coming up. Joe Blow says, used to take longer to transfer funds from country to country. Well, when they get the quantum system in place, and it is really, but I don't know if we're actually using it yet.
Oh yeah, that's what has replaced the SWIFT system. That's why they're still able to transfer funds. Now it's super quick and very clean.
Quick and clean. That's always nice.
Well,
okay. Well, if somebody else has any questions, bring them forward. Otherwise, let's talk about Lloyd Brunson for a minute or two.
Well,
the guy who
is that you refer to?
How could you possibly not know who Lloyd Brunson is? Because we talked about him earlier just before the show, so you're just being funny. Okay. He is. Let me share a page, and these are the guys. Lloyd and his brothers have filed lawsuits with the Supreme Court for the purposes of Congress people as well as the administration who have been complicit with not investigating the 2020 when it was their duty to do so. So before we go to the next question, let me bring that out. Lloyd Brunson.
Well, what he's doing is um, putting these guys all in a trick bag, and the way he's doing it is that none of these people are abiding by their oath of office, and people don't understand that you can be removed for not abiding by your oath of office. Just exactly that simple. And if enough people write letters saying he's guilty, that one over there did it, this sort of thing, and you get a stack of mail that's bigger than the White House, they don't have a choice but to pay attention to it, and they don't have a choice but to bring it up. So that's
And
basically
this
what.
is why it's so important. People, the Brunson brothers have made it so easy. It's unbelievable. All you have to do is click on the site, fill out your name, send them $2 to pay for the postage. They actually send it to the Supreme Court for you. The letter's already written. All you have to do is click, fill out a few things, and send. And that letter will go to the Supreme Court. And there's no excuses for not doing this. If you believe you want things to change, you have to step up and do something.
Well, now you don't pull on Superman's cape. You don't take the mask off the old Lone Ranger, and you don't screw around with the people of the United States.
Because we have guns. I tell you what, that's been one of our biggest protections. All of these other countries that had them taken away have to put up with a lot worse than we did. But we need to get everybody to wake up, because they're starting to take all kinds of things away from us. Our freedoms we don't have free speech. You can't just go out and I can't be on here and say what I know to be true, being censored. That's not supposed to happen. And we've been allowing it to happen.
Well, they just hit a federal judge that put in a
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Little control mechanism, and he made it temporary, but it may be made permanent, where the United States government can no longer have direct contact with the media platforms because of the influence they've been playing games with. Bingo. I only covered 5, I think it was, in that show that I did on Supreme Court rulings. But this right here, this thing that you're seeing on the screen right now, click here for your letter. Do it. Send a man
so
$2.
easy. All you have to do is it's LoyBrunson.com. That's it. Just his Lloyd Brunson.
Put that in the chat. Could you?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Time in American people speak up.
Please go there and send your letter. It's so easy. Yeah. There's no excuses not to.
You can now, as I understand it, you can send them images. So send them one like this. I'm ready. Are you ready? Yeah. Our whole neighborhood is armed. We got rocket launchers. Ooh.
Do you have? Oh, wait a minute. We got another question here before I ask one.
All right. What?
Okay. It says the open borders more than what we are told. Are they being used to go into the dumps and work, or much more for the? Why am I having such a hard time reading this? I don't know. Let me. It's so small.
Yeah.
Let me make it bigger. Maybe then I can see it better. Okay. Are these open borders more than what we are told? Are they being used to go to the dumbs for the elites to hide against the future phoenix that's coming for? No, that didn't work either.
And the answer is yes. And the problem is that the things have been turning around, and Baja girl, you don't get it. We have been told and this is the people that are in the know, such as myself and a few others. We've been told by people that are high up and oligarchs and a few others that, and this is beautiful, um, the situation is going to be changed, and it's going to be changed forcibly if necessary. Uh, are 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 this open borders more than what we were told? Yes. Are they being used to go to dumbs? Only marginally, and work much more for the elites to hide against future Phoenix is coming for them. The elites don't have any place to hide. Now, I want everybody to understand.
So they can't go underground in the cities that they have
No,
built underground.
no. The doors, they're going to come over and the door's going to be locked.
Okay. Now, okay, I'm going to stop. I'm going to bring up, okay,
Oh,
what
back.
Baja Girl is saying, that fake government, fake Supreme Court, and Clarence Thomas is the only judge left. So I don't get why they are sitting on this.
Very
Sitting
simply.
on what? What are you? I
They
mean,
were,
sitting on.
well, they were sitting on things. And about, I don't know, a week or two ago, they started issuing rulings on the constitutionality of all kinds of things. And what happened was the Supreme Court changed from being fake and fraudulent to, they seem to have changed. And that's what everybody's looking at. So,
Okay. Well, Clarence Thomas is the only judge left. I don't know why Clarence Thomas is believed to be the only good guy,
dirty.
and maybe he is, but he used to work for Monsanto, so I have questions about him because of that. But
Look
he
at
may
that
be
look at that next question in the chat.
okay. Are seatbelts required in your spaceship?
You are required to wear your pants up, which may mean that you're going to have to tighten your belt. um, Seatbelts are to keep you from sliding around in the cockpit too much when there's a drastic change in direction. That's all the seatbelts are good for. Remember that. It doesn't protect you from an accident. You have an accident at the speed of light, ain't gonna be nothing much left except a bunch of sparkling things, maybe. you know.
Okay. We
Indeed.
have information that there's military movement in the streets in over 27 states. Do you have any information on that?
Yeah, I put that out in that one show I did. Uh,
Well, this
what
is
you're
a
seeing
different
in
show.
terms of,
Yeah.
uh, well,
Well,
what you're
this
seeing,
is another show. So,
what you're seeing in terms of the military movement is logistics, placement of material, men and material, so that when martial law is declared, if need be, they'll be able to control the situation a lot better than if if they weren't there. Um, the scattering is also, and you got to bear this in mind, and you grit your teeth probably when you come to the realization, but they're there to help us, not to help the government. Bear that in mind.
who's here to help us? What are you talking?
The military,
Oh, the military. Okay.
yeah,
So
they
these are the good guy military, right? Because it's my understanding that there's some black hats
you
in the
got it.
military too.
Oh
So,
yeah, and you know what? They're going to be drug out of their offices, kicking and screaming. If they pull a gun, we have the authority to execute them right then, and a few other things.
did you hear that they had released the JFK files, the that indicate the CIA killed President Kennedy, along with
Yeah.
the Pentagon, State Department?
Can you
Pathetic, isn't it?
imagine? Can you imagine what happens when they go to the CIA office and uh, start grabbing spooks out of their little cute cubicles?
But Joe Bello said, this is funny. He said, 29 years driving big rigs. I was thinking about keeping you in your seat while bouncing around, so you don't lose control.
Yeah, that it helps if you're not going along with your steering wheel. I took a 2.5-ton truck, better known as a deuce and a half, and run it through its paces a couple of times when I was at Fort Benning. And if you get in the right kind of a situation, the steering wheel will flip you around and round and around in the driver's seat.
Okay. Oh, we got a new one here. No question here from Matashi. Drake, I heard that the Civil War, the South are the actual good guys defending the Republicans against the North, who were getting in bed with the new corporation of America and also kept slaves? ?
Yeah. I'm going to say yes. I'm not going to get into the particulars because nobody'd understand it. You can't have something like that where the winning side, which was in this case the North, took out the South because it had greater capabilities, both men and material, and guns and gunpowder and things of that nature. And anyway, after what happened after the Civil War tells you who the good guys and bad guys are. After the Civil War, when they started that Reconstruction crap, just before that, they put military personnel in governors and representatives' seats all across the South, and that makes the North guilty.
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Yeah, we've been I think the entire planet are basically corporate slaves because they made us into corporations when they took our birth certificate. But that's a whole big long story. What about? Pardon?
Sound like somebody flushing the toilet. What about what?
I don't know. I lost my train of thought with that being said. So I'm going to put up this question while I try to regather my thoughts. So it said the 23rd of July, JFK Jr. is to be sworn in as vice president. I mean, I hate to put a date out there. Every time we do.
You never know.
So I guess the answer to that is
that'd be the Democrats and the power brokers and the oligarchs and the others' worst nightmare. You'll see people's heads exploding. If I'm
looking forward to that, actually.
I'm looking forward to pulling the plug on all the BS horse hockey stuff that they're doing.
So what do you know about that?
We shouldn't have to worry about the government playing with our underwear. It's not how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, they're supposed to be afraid of us. We're not supposed to be afraid of them. And right now, people are afraid of the government. And that's sad.
Put starch in their underwear and see how they like it.
Yeah. So what have you heard? You got any new information on the impeachment proceedings and when they might?
They're moving along. The only thing about it is that impeachment takes forever. If they would just simply take these people out by way of violating their oath of office, then it's much quicker. It takes.
Well, what about the ones, Drake? What about the ones that didn't even sign an oath of office? That's what they were saying. There's a whole bunch of people.
Then they are automatically shoved in the outhouse. We're going to put enough of them in the outhouse so that it sinks. And I wouldn't want to be trying to swim around on that, I'll tell you. But they deserve it.
Yes, they do. Can Drake describe what in a higher form, or do we have visible defining traits in our home?
My highest form in this 3D realm is that of an angel, as described in the Bible. I got an extremely bright, glowing persona. Don't look like I got feet, and I do things that are impossible, like crush planets or whatever is necessary.
Well, guess what, Drake? I've been told the same thing. I'm an angel too.
Woo, cool. I knew I liked you for some reason. Even if you do wear a funny looking hat.
Okay.
But
I like the Greek fishing hat. No, we said that one already. Okay. This is the next one. Matashi's asking, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Q, is Russia, USA, and China still going to be the three strong nations, and will it move to a good world for mankind?
Yes.
Or humankind? Or
that's
people.
something they can't break.
Okay. Oh, yeah. This is interesting. Did you hear that? I heard it, and I poured it on. Then all of a sudden it went dead quiet. That on July 1st, the fake Biden, one of four, from what I understand, passed. And then all of a sudden they covered it all up. You never heard another thing about it.
They'll stick a clone in there and say, ha, he didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, that's what they always do. That's what they've been doing with all of them. Yeah.
Well, the problem is that the clones are going to be shut down along with other things in the very near future. Oh, hey, I like this.
If you like turning off a switch, what'll happen is they'll just.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, you remember when Hillary fell over because her battery went dead? That's what you're.
I remember when she went like this.
She was on her way to get. She went up. She took about 3 steps to get to her van, and all of a sudden, plop.
It's amazing what people are going to find out is going to be.
This one I really like.
Now, are all 3-letter agencies owned and controlled by the UN?
Well, the UN takes that position for the simple fact that they make a nice distraction as to what's really going on. Actually, it's the oligarchs that own them.
Okay. All of the well, we even have a 4-letter agency. U.S. better than the other 3-letter agencies.
Well,
they're all weaponized against the people. That's what's really going on. Okay, here's another one. Joe Blow wants to know whose Coke was that.
Hey, Hunter, how you doing?
That's what I just heard too. The most recent. Okay.
Well, I did some checking, and what's really neat is that Trump is not known for drugs of any kind other than Mickey D's. So
other than what?
Mickey D's. McDonald's.
That's got human meat. I don't like that.
McDonald's. Get him his cheeseburger, or he goes nuts.
Human DNA in
are there other
both
3D
McDonald's and Burger King? So the next question: 3D planets ascending. Is everyone dealing with crap? Are some 3D planets cruising on through the process?
Well, yes, no, and maybe. Now, here's your deal. These transitions are not an ascension. The transition from 3D out of it to 4D or something else is a given. It's baked into our DNA. The solar system that our planet, that we are known for, the whole thing ascends. Now, bear that in mind. That does not necessarily include the sun. That's something I didn't ask about, so I don't know. There are 5 million other planetary systems that are dealing with the same crap we got going now. And we're looking quite literally, the people that get this done here a whole bunch of us are going to go and find one that needs to help theirs get to where it needs to go so it can transition. And we're just going to run around flipping on light bulbs and see how much fun that is.
Okay.
And there's no cruising through any of it.
Okay, so he's asking if we saw a clone, can we shut them down by saying deactivate? I didn't think so. Joe Biden, deactivate. Justin Trudeau, deactivate. And we see them fall and shut off. Would that be nice? I don't think that's going to work, though, unfortunately.
I would say Biden got deactivated before he got in office, along with his buddy, the braying donkey Kamala Harris. No, they do have a switch, and I'm not going to tell you where it's at. You'll have to feel them up to find it. Oh,
Cheyenne Mountain, maybe?
Yeah.
That would be my best guess. Okay, so let me take that out.
Construction, huh?
It's supposed to be under construction. What's supposed to be under construction?
Situation room area. They're trying to blame a construction worker and leaving it. Nobody's taking coke to work unless you got just enough for one line, just enough to get you through the day. People normally don't do coke at work. They normally save it up for when they get home. So I'd say Hunter did it.
I too. Anyway, will we be jealous as a planet if we found out that other 3D worlds were invited to the ET community already? Is there a waiting list for planetary contact?
First of all, no to all of that. 3D cannot function into the higher realms without transitioning. And in 3D, you're not transitioned to 4, so you don't do nothing. Just that simple. There's no waiting list. It's just whoever is best set to go.
Okay, here's another one asking a question about the sun. What will the color of the sun change, and if what color?
Okay,
it's already gone from yellow to white.
That's basically it. You have old-fashioned light bulbs put out a yellowish colored light. Okay, same with our sun. Okay, as the sun gets closer to its big upchuck of light blast, whatever you want to call it, flash, it gets whiter, and that's basically the only changes you're going to see.
Yeah, I got some pictures of it. It's so bright. Wow. Coming up. Let me see. Here's another question. Who snuck weapons out of the Bluegrass Army Depot in Kentucky?
There's probably some drunk hunters. They drank too much beer and said, "Hey, man, I know where there's some guns. Okay, let's go get them." They loaded up their pickups, and they've been dropping M14s on the highway ever since.
Okay, we got to be careful how we ask question because you're talking in an area that is highly censored.
Yeah.
Highly censored. So remember that. That's why I ask people
to come on.
Please subscribe to the uncensored channels. Are all people who took the dying, or just some of them? An awful lot of them.
If you haven't had a problem so far, it's going to be a little bit longer before they do. But each and every last one of them will have a problem. That's all I'm going to say. How's that?
That's good. And that's true, too.
Uh-oh.
Okay, let's see. I heard David Wilcox has a new handler. Are you going to interview soon?
Good question. That's a possibility. It depends on what David wants to know or how he wants to get there. Now, other than David, Skinwalker Ranch people, such as Mr. Scientific over there, needs a lesson in ET physics. I'm opening this up right now that if he wants to know, I work with ET on their physics at their level. So if you want to understand what you're fooling with, I can explain it to you. Just be careful about what your reaction to it is. Okay.
Is that to David Wilcox that you're saying that?
Both to David Wilcock and to the and to a certain scientist at Skinwalker Ranch.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Well, thank you, Tim Potter.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, here's boy, we're getting the questions today. I always like it when we do it.
That's cool.
We could have had these questions on Twitch and DLive, but I couldn't get people to move over there and see these are coming from YouTube. So even if
this next one's going to be fun.
If you haven't joined the Rumble or Odyssey channel, those are the two censored channels. You should subscribe to at least one of them. And then these other YouTube channels I've had up there for a while. I used to have 10,000 subscribers, and right now I've got less than 500. So I don't know what happened to everybody, but that's the problem with YouTube. They can just take your whole channel down, not even say a word before or anything, and just leave you hanging. And so a lot
anybody can.
Yeah, and so it's happened to a lot of people. A lot of people that were putting out good stuff, just like I was, and still I am.
Let me give you and the rest of the world some good news. You got a new internet coming very soon, and they won't be able to do that crap.
Thank goodness. Is it going to go off for a while first before it comes on, or is it going to?
No. It's going to. It probably go dark for about maybe 5 minutes.
Oh wow, that's nothing. Okay, what can you tell us about those arcs that are all over the net?
A-net.
Over the A-net. A-net. What's an A-net?
Yeah. What's an arc as far as that go? Are they talking about the specific race? Are you talking about specific partially alive systems on spaceships?
I think the arcs that they found that got turned on is probably what they're talking about.
Well, now, okay. Well, if you're dealing with that, that's a subject that nobody should fool with it. Oh, here's destination for greatness. He says ships. Okay. Seeing as how you're going to play games like that, I'm going to mess your mind up with the simple fact that you deserve it. I'm gonna give you an honest answer. Arcs, okay? An arc can be, and I said can be, a living entity in the form of a spaceship. It looks like a spaceship, and facilitate certain things so that we don't have to worry about it, okay? That's what they're supposedly for. Now, the A-net is the all-inclusive internet that the new internet's going to be. And the A-net deals with a combination of situation, source, function, and what they're intending to do with the arcs as they come out. Okay?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Tim Potter has something to say. Let's see what he says here. I'll read this out loud. Uh-oh. Due to the slowness of positive actions, forgive me, but I look upon the white hats as being the shite hats, waiting for some to wake up whilst the barn is burning. Just seems ridiculous.
Well, I can agree with that to an extent, but the problem is that you're going to have to. This one statement: white hate, black hate, whatever. The hate of an individual because of their race got to go. That's one of the things that E.T.'s adamant about. Slowness of positive actions. I think that the Supreme Court has taken some really serious positive actions lately, along with some federal judges. So it's coming about, but it's because we're not doing this real directly, it's going to take a little time.
People's patience is wearing thin.
How about if
well, I can read that, but it's not really a question. It's being grateful for the work that we do. I listen to you guys and Kent Dunn, Dr. Muggsy, Psychic Louise Jones, 144 Club, and Andres Moreno, Jesse Hall, and much, much more. I'm an enlightened student seeking for the truth, and thank you to all. Okay. Thank you for being in our listening audience. We appreciate it very much. So how about, Drake, how about if I play that one little part that you were talking that I showed you at the beginning?
I'd rather have that song, Resist.
We played that once. Play it again, but I do like that the very beginning of that video though. So I want to play that, and then I'm going to move to the okay. There's a little section at the very beginning of the We the People News video by Roseanne Barr, and I just want to play it. I almost got her on my show once. Someone was going to make an arrangement, but that's why I want to play. And it's just the very beginning, and I'm off, and then we will move to what you were talking about, the Resist song, because that says exactly what we need to do. And so anyway, let me quickly do this.
Sit rep.
Okay, I was trying to make this bigger, but
and go into it. I'm from Ukraine. The Ukrainian, there's a large faction of Nazis. I don't know if you know this, but there's a large amount of Nazis in the Ukraine, and they actually killed my whole family. I'm from the Ukraine, and they marched my entire family, grandmothers, great-grandparents, 10 siblings, out into the forest and buried them alive in the Ukraine. So I don't understand why everybody's in Ukraine. Well, I do understand. And that's also what terrifies me. People better wake up and do some research on their own instead of buying what comes across on the screen. And I try to shake them up. Here's your goddamn right I do. I try to shake them up and crack their mind control programming. I do it for God.
Well, here's what I was saying. I don't agree with you about a lot of the stuff you said about Ukraine. I know what you said. You're perfectly entitled to your views. I would say in relation to the suggestion that they're all a bunch of Nazis.
You have names in the swastikas on those arms.
Himself is Jewish, so obviously he is de facto not a Nazi.
I know, but he's not a good one. Are all Jews the same? For God's sake, talk about anti-Semitic. Just because the guy's a Jew doesn't mean he likes Jews or that he's doing anything good for the Jews. I mean, so what? Who cares what anybody is? That was the whole point of my tweet. Just because they're skin folk don't mean they're kin folk. You know what I mean? Just because they're the same color as you don't mean they ain't trying to lock your ass up. Wake up, people!
That's a great channel to check out if you haven't checked it out. Now, it'll take me a minute to find the Resist song, and I'll play that, and then it'll pretty much have to
pack it in.
Yeah, wrap it. Call it a wrap. Okay, so let me find that real quick. There it is. Okay, new is share again. Okay, people, this will be our ending song, okay? Whoa, wait a second here. It's playing before it's supposed to. Before I get shared. So, okay. Okay, don't do that, Drake, please. That's very annoying. So, here we go. Here's a share screen. And here... Let me share, and here. Okay.
Other way.
Here we go.
Other way. Yeah.
plan, put a spoke in their wheel. If you wanna move the needle, it's easy this. Don't do what they say, defy, disobey, and resist. Resist, resist. Come on, be your best. You have to resist. You're listening to this. The prophet of the world. It made us on their list. If we stand united, together we can fight it. So resist, resist. Rise up and shake your fist. They're coming up behind. You better watch the fit. They're all on their minds now. They're coming for the kids. I'll sit in your eye. I will not comply. Resist.
Thank you.
There you go. Resist.
A lot of people needed that, and I'm going to tell you right now, there is a movement going on that I've heard about, and it's on the QT, but I'm going to advertise it. There is a resistance movement coming, and it's big, and it's nationwide, and they're looking at going and grabbing politicians, oligarchs, and anybody else who has been a problem and taking them away. That's all I'm going to say.
Now, the military couldn't just shoot them or anything like that, could they?
Yeah, they can. Military has been authorized to execute on site anybody that decides that they're going to support Marxism, communism, liberalism, democratic, as they call it, democratic means, and all that sort of thing. There's going to be a whole bunch of changes, such as certain unions are going to cease to exist. Certain groups aren't going to be allowed to exist any longer either. And you'll see.
It's coming, and it's not very far away. Is that right?
Yep, and you can't stop it. What's coming cannot be stopped. You can't fool with it. You can't mess it up. Why? Because there are over 800 million people with guns who say, no, 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 no.
Enough is enough.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, thank you, everyone, for listening. And thank you, Drake, for your time. And we sure got the questions this time. That's fun. I always like it when we get lots of questions. So
that's much better.
Yeah, it's so much more fun. So we'll try to keep it on YouTube because it seems to be where people want to be. But please do join Rumble, my Rumble or Odyssey channel as well, because sometimes there's things we just can't talk about YouTube until I'm hoping that very soon that's going to stop, isn't it, Drake?
Yes, they already are stopping a lot of it. That's why your show is not being dumped off of YouTube. YouTube's parameters of operation. Let's put it this way. YouTube was given a choice. They didn't want everybody to go to jail and have all of their stuff turned off. Then they would allow little things like free speech to continue. And we'll see where that goes.
Well, yeah. And you know what? There should be some kind of reparation or some kind of compensation for those of us that have taken our entire channel down without any notice, without anything. And after years of work and hundreds of videos, over 500 videos, to just take them down and on censorship. And they went back. They went way back too. Well, probably because of some of the people I interviewed early on in the scamdemic situation.
If YouTube is serious about getting real, they'll start restoring videos. Expect to see that. Okay, I can't say any more than that.
Okay. Well, stuff needs to change, and it needs to change big time. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're on the same page with that one, aren't we, Drake?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you once again, everyone. And thank you, Drake. And we'll see you again soon. We'll see you again.
Bye, y'all. I think we're going to go.
Okay, here.
We have found our way. It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our